Today we are diving into the pretty vast world of movie adaptations turned video games. Now we all know the track record here. Most of the time, they're about as enjoyable as a date with Jar Jar Binks. But every now and then, a gem emerges from the chaos. We are talking about those hidden treasures that turn a familiar movie plot into an interactive experience that worth the popcorn. In the next video we got a lineup of movie-based games that will make you question why most of them suck so much in general. Not to mention on top, here's a shining beacon. A game so good, it's like Morpheus himself handed you the red pill. Without further ado, let's jump into the list.
In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a Master Ring to control all others.
The story here is tighter than Frodo's grip on the One Ring. It follows the movies faithfully, allowing you to relive the epic battles as Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli. It's like a reunion with old friends but with more orcs. Combat is as satisfying as a well-timed wizard steps to the face. Hacking through hordes of orcs feels downright therapeutic. You'll be yelling "For Frodo" in no time. The game is like a time-traveling journey back to Middle-earth. The vintage charm is strong, like finding your old elven cloak in the attic. Graphics are a bit dated, but hey, it's like a relic from the early 2000s. It's like watching the extended edition on VHS. Nostalgic, but not cutting edge. The camaraderie and the epic battles must be the best aspects of this game, while the awkward camera angles making you feel like you are reenacting the Battle of Helm's Deep blindfolded.
I say the future is ours! If you can count!
The narrative is gritty as the streets of the 1979 New York City. It captures the raw essence of the movie and you'll be emotionally invested in your gang struggle for survival. It's like West Side Story, but with more broken bottles and more broken bones. Brawling in this game is more satisfying than a midnight snack at the Warriors hangout. It's a mix of fisticuffs, stealth and chaos. Just the way a street brawl should be. Graphics are like stepping into a time machine to the era of disco and rebellious youth. The vintage radio tunes are the cherry on top of this retro beatdown. Visually it's a throwback. Think graffiti-covered subway cars and neon lights. It's like playing through a punk rock album cover. Best parts might be the intense brawls and the atmospheric city. However, the escort missions are on the opposite end. They will make you long for the simplicity of a subway ride without delays.
This is Mary Jane, the girl next door, the girl I love. But love is a tricky thing when you live part of your life behind a mask. Fate handed me amazing powers, and I made a promise to use those powers to help people. With great power comes great responsibility.
The story swings as gracefully as Spidey himself. It's a web of intrigue with classic villains. You'll be caught up faster than J. Jonah Jameson in a Spider-Man photo scandal. Swinging through the city feels more natural than Peter Parker's awkward dates, for obvious reasons. The open world exploration is a joy, and the combat is so fluid you would think it's been genetically modified. The game is a vintage web-slinging experience, capturing the essence of a time when Tobey Maguire was the Spider-Man we all knew and loved. Considering it's from the PS2 era, the graphics hold up surprisingly well. It's like seeing Spider-Man in action without any of that Sam Raimi webbing CGI nonsense. The exhilarating web swinging is the most exciting part of the game, but the occasional awkward camera angles making you feel like you've been caught in Spidey's own web.
We just get some parfaits. You know, ones with whipped cream. Oh, I love whipped cream. Ogres eat nature, not parfaits.
Well, this story is as twisted as Shrek's sense of humor. It's like a fairy tale gone wild, with a gang of misfits embarking on a quest that's more dysfunctional than donkeys singing. The co-op gameplay adds a layer of fun, thicker than Shrek's Scottish Bruges. It's like a chaotic party where everyone is an ogre. Smash and laugh, that's the Shrek way. This game is like a total blast from the 2000s. The vintage charm is strong, with humor that's aged like a fine onion. Layers, my friend, just like an ogre. The graphics also have that distinct early 2000s charm. It's like watching the Shrek movie on a tube TV. Colorful but pixelated, but undeniably fun. The hilarious co-op antics probably you're gonna enjoy the most, but the occasional wonky hitboxes making you question whether you are aiming for the enemy or a piñata at a swamp party.
Okay, I'll play with you. Do you want to play that? Say hello to my little friend!
The narrative is a Scarface sequel we never knew we needed. It's like Tony Montana on steroids, rebuilding his empire with more access than his infamous mansion. The gameplay is as ruthless as Tony himself. It's a mix of strategic empire building and explosive shootouts. Say hello to my little friend. And by friend I mean an arsenal of weapons. The game is like a return to the 80s, with the neon lights and access dialed up to 11. The vintage soundtrack will have you saying, bullshit to the limit as you conquer Miami. Visually it's a trip back to the PS2 era, but it's like watching a cult classic on VHS. The grain adds to the nostalgia. The over-the-top action and the empire building is the best part of the game. The worst would be the dated AI, making enemies as predictable as Tony's love for excess.
It'll all be over soon. It'll all be over soon. It'll all be over soon. That's it. That's all. Oh, that wasn't too bad.
The story takes the red pill and dives deeper into the Matrix lore. It's like a mind-bending trip through the Wachowski's wildest dreams. You'll be questioning reality more than Neo himself. The combat is like a ballet of bullets and kung fu. You'll be dodging bullets and sending agents back to the code with style. It's more satisfying than a perfectly executed slow-motion dodge. This game is a blast from the past, embracing the bullet time era and the iconic leather trench coats. It's like reliving the Matrix frenzy but with a controller in hand. The graphics are a bit dated, but hey, it's like watching the Matrix movies on a CRT TV. A classic experience with a touch of nostalgia. The best bit is definitely the mind-bending combat. The worst is the occasional wonky camera angles, making you feel like you are stuck in a glitchy simulation.
Look away. You know who I am.
The story weaves seamlessly into the Godfather universe. It's like being part of the Corleone family, navigating the dangerous world of organized crime. It's an offer you cannot refuse. The gameplay is a mix of strategy and brutal mob action. It's like playing chess with a Tommy gun. Making the right moves and you'll be done of New York. This game is a vintage journey to the world of 70s organized crime. The vintage cars, sharp suits, and classic dialogue make you feel like you are stepping into a Coppola masterpiece. While the graphics may show their age, it's like watching the Godfather trilogy in a classic movie projector, timeless and full of nostalgic charm. The strategic gameplay and the immersive mob world is the highlight of this game. On the flip side, the occasional graphical glitches making you wonder if you're in a mobster dream or nightmare.
monsieur. Welcome to Paris.
Show yourself, Dr. Jekyll.
Seems that memory of yours is getting worse, Van Helsing.
The narrative is a gothic adventure with Van Helsing hunting monsters in a world as dark as his head brim. It's like a supernatural thriller with more werewolves than a Transylvanian bingo night. The combat is more action-packed than a Vampire Hunter's highlight reel. It's a mix of gunplay, melee combat, and monster slaying. Van Helsing ain't afraid to get his hands, or crossbow, dirty. The game is like a journey into the classic monster lore with a touch of Van Helsing steampunk style. The vintage atmosphere is thicker than the London fog on a Victorian night. Visually it's a relic from the early 2000s, but it's like watching a classic monster movie on a worn-out VHS. A bit grainy, but the scares are timeless. The monster hunting action and the atmospheric setting are the peak aspects of this game. On the downside, the occasional camera issues making you feel like you are chasing monsters blindfolded sometimes. The story mirrors the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker's fall to the dark side. It's like experiencing the Star Wars prequel with a lightsaber in hand. The Force is strong with this one. The lightsaber combat is more intense than a Jedi Council meeting. It's like a mix of force powers and epic duels. You'll be slicing through droids and seats faster than you can say, "I am your father." This game is like a warp speed journey to the prequel era, with lightsabers, clones, and Hayden Christensen's beautiful hair. The vintage Star Wars charm is stronger than the Force itself. Considering it's from the PS2 era, the graphics are as good as a pod racing on Tatooine. It's like watching the Star Wars saga on a CRT TV classic, with a touch of blaster nostalgia. The highlights are the lightsaber combat and force powers that will make you feel like a real Jedi, but the repetitive level design making you feel like you are stuck in a loop as endless as the Senate debates. The story delves into the dark and brooding origins of the Caped Crusader. It's like a detective noir with more bats and fewer fedoras. You'll be donning the cape and cowl, feeling more justice than Gotham's finest. The combat is as smooth as Batman's escape from awkward social situations. It's a mix of stealth and bone-crushing action. Be the Shadow, be the Bat. Just don't forget your utility belt. The game is like a return to the gritty, realistic Gotham of Nolan's trilogy. The vintage Batman vibe is thicker than Commissioner Gordon's majestic mustache. Visually it's like a relic from the mid-2000s, but it's like watching Batman Begins on DVD, an iconic experience with a touch of nostalgic darkness. The stealthy gameplay and the immersive Gotham City are truly stealing the show here. But in this game as well, the clunky camera angles making you feel like you have stumbled into a villain's trap sometimes. Well, thanks for joining me on this cinematic journey through the pixelated realms of movie adaptations. Before we sign off, a quick shout out to our standout hero of the day. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the Matrix path of Neo. It's not just a game, it's a glitch in the system, and we are all plugged in. I'm Gabe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming.
Get out of here, you greaseball bastard!